Election Day is almost here, and I had the opportunity to ask the candidates for U.S. Senate in South Carolina the same 14 questions. I traveled to Columbia to meet with Jaime Harrison and met with Senator Lindsey Graham in our Fox Carolina studio. Here's what they told me about getting the economy back on track following the pandemic. What is the biggest challenge with growing the economy?
I think it's just a regulatory tax structure. When we cut corporate taxes from 35 to into the 20s, people felt like they could stay in America. The trade deals have been terrible for the United States. President Trump is pushing back against China, who's been stealing our jobs. The USMCA is better than NAFTA when it comes to Canada and Mexico. But if you ask people in business, their biggest fear is if the Democrats take over, they're going to raise taxes, increase regulations to the point they can't compete. What have we learned? If you pay people more not to work than to work, then you're going to have a hard time getting the economy started back. I want to help people who are unemployed, but when you're paying people $600 on top of the state benefit, that's $1,000 a week. You're destroying the ability to get the economy growing again, because you're paying people more not to work than work. Things like that matter. I've been in business. I come from a business family. I can tell you the margins are very, very thin. If you increase the cost of doing business to the point that people can't meet those costs, then you're going to reduce employment opportunities.
What does it take to get the economy back on track?
One of the things we have to do is we need to make sure that we're getting capital to our small businesses. The backbone of this economy are small businesses, and we need to do more to help them. You know, one of the problems that I had with the initial tranche of PPP dollars was that it went to these large corporations that didn't need it. You know, I'm a Lakers fan. And so when I saw that the LA Lakers was one of the recipients of the PPP program, I knew that the program was broken. When I started talking to restaurant owners and businesses that said, you know, the repayment plan is for 2-year repayment for the loan. You know, we work on a cash-based system at our restaurants. You know, our margins are slim. We need longer than 2 years. We want to repay the money, but in order to be profitable again, in order to hire people again, we need a longer period of time for repayment. But, you know, Lindsey Graham doesn't spend enough time here in South Carolina to know that, to hear that from the constituents. But I do. I do. Right now, some of our small localities desperately need more revenue. Lindsey Graham is often talking about groups that want to defund the police. Well, it's Lindsey Graham that's talking about defunding the police, because right now in the HEROES Act, there's funding for states and localities. And do you know how policing is funded in America? Through states and localities. Those are the conduits in which we get money to our police. There's money right now in Congress, but they're so busy thinking about Democratic states and Republican states instead of just looking at the American states that desperately need resources right now to stay open and do the things to protect the American people. And so those are the things that I want to do. I want to fight for all of our folks. Stop dividing us and bring us all together.
To see more from Graham and Harrison, go to our Fox Carolina News app or our Fox Carolina YouTube channel. Both candidates answer 14 questions you can watch online and in our newscast. I'll bring you updates on air leading up to Election Day.